Welcome back. Well, today I'm going to take this piece of bread for repair and I'm going to attempt to turn a French style rolling pin. My granddaughter told her mother that she needed a rolling pin, so I'm going to see what I can do. So let's get over to the lathe and knock this thing out, and hopefully. Okay, I've got my smock on. Yes, it's my dirty. It's not dirty, it's just really stained. Miss Robin. And my face shield on because I'm going to be losing quite a bit of bark off this thing. Got 780 RPMs. I'll take yours not first. I think Powder Post Beetle's got it. I should have brought this Loggin to the shop, but I didn't. Yeah, bark flying everywhere. Now I'm just going to be spending a lot of time prepping. So this thing's got to go down to 1 3/4 inches. The dimensions that I looked up for a French rolling pin are 1 3/4 by 20. I think 1 3/4 is going to be a little small, so I'm going to take it to 2. I'm still going to have some tracks, dang it. Yeah, some of these are way too deep. I don't want to fill it with resin because I don't want any more unnatural stuff in here than I have to have. It's time to back up and punt. I don't know what happened to the audio on this portion, but I recorded it as an FLV file, and the audio was just really, really bad. I sounded like a chipmunk, and you couldn't understand anything I'm saying. So here's the blank that I glued up. It was made from slats from, like I said, an old crib or baby bed. I glued them up and glued it into a square blank, actually 4 1-inch square blanks, and then glued those together. And then I put it up here on the lathe, and then I turned it. So we'll get to it and you'll see the shape, or you'll see the rolling pin come into shape. Okay, I've got the diameter of what I need, but there's still a little dip in it in the middle. So a trick that I'm going to use is I'm going to take this piece of, I got this piece of sandpaper on a small piece of Corian, and I'm going to hold that piece of sandpaper up against the rolling pin and move it back and forth to, it's 100 grit sandpaper. So I'm gonna smooth that off and get it all nice and level using that Corian and the sandpaper. Once I was happy with that it was all nice and flat in the same dimension, I used my inertia sander and I sanded it to 220 grit. I laid an aluminum rule across the top to make sure that it was nice and flat all the way across, and when I was happy with it, I knew it was time to move on. Once I had it all sanded nice and smooth, then I marked the total length at 20 inches because that's what I'm going to cut it off at. Then I marked the center and have to determine now how much of an angle I'm going to use on each end. So I get the center marked, and then I'll mark the each end to taper down to 1 inch. I came in 3 inches from each side, and I'll taper the rolling pin down to 1 inch at the end. So I'm going to part it off here, and then I'm going to taper it from here out. It's all sanded up now to 320. So here I'm putting the first coat of pure tung oil on. There's only two finishes that I will use on food related items. That's either mineral oil or pure 100% tung oil. Not tung oil finish. Just if it says tung oil finish, it's got chemical dryers in it and it's not food safe. But pure tung oil is food safe. It is a slightly penetrating finish. It won't penetrate as much as mineral oil, but it does penetrate, but it also builds, so it's a building finish. And it came out really nice on this. I will apply before it's all done. I'll end up applying 4 coats of tung oil. A lot of people don't like tung oil because of how long it takes to dry. It takes 24 hours to dry between coats. So if you're using 3 or 4 coats, that's a few days. So a lot of people don't like to use it, but it's a great finish for food items. Okay, this is Axe Polish and Restoring Paste. It also is food safe, so I'm going to further protect this. It's got several coats of tung oil on it, so I'm going to further protect this rolling pin by applying some Axe Polish and Restoring Paste. And after it sits on here and dries for a few minutes, then I will get a clean cloth and buff it up. But this is good stuff. Like I said, I'll let this sit for a few minutes and then I'll come back and buff it up. I think it's looking pretty good. I mean, it's a rolling pin. It ought to do the job. It's a rolling pin. It ought to do the job. So here it is. One rolling pin. If you remember from the start, I started with trying to do this from a log, actually 3 logs. I tried a piece of Bradford pear, then I tried a piece of hackberry, and then I tried a piece of live oak, and they were all just way too wormy, so it wasn't going to work. So I ended up taking some slats. I didn't show you the process of me cutting those and preparing them, but I took some slats basically from the side of an old baby bed, and I milled them down and glued them up into 4 1-inch square blanks and glued them together, and this is the result. As you can see, it came out relatively nice. You can see the grain in it. I did not know that these slats were made of plywood until I started milling them, but I still think it turned out pretty. Most of all, it's functional, it's food safe, and it's nice and protected. So thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. I've got another Gnome video coming down the pipe. I had a request to make one about 5 inches tall, so that'll be coming soon. I want to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas and a safe and prosperous New Year. I probably won't get any more videos out until after the first of the year. So, you know, we've got family coming in this week, and it's going to be busy with my grandson's wedding and then Christmas. And so we're going to be busy, but, you know, family stuff is family stuff. It's always fun. I'm really looking forward to Christmas this year to see what the kids think. So, as always, forgive this old rambling fool. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you coming and tagging along, and I appreciate all the support from all of you guys. So, thank you very much. God bless. Merry Christmas. Remember, live, laugh, and most importantly, love. Y'all come back.